Hey guys, what's up? So as you can see, I just registered the domain for my next project, basho.me, which is going to be the Twitter haiku finder. That's going to let you search your Twitter feed for accidental haiku and then let you order merchandise with cool haiku on it, or order one for your friends or whatever. But that's not what I want to talk about in this video. Rather, I want to talk about more my process of creating apps and pretty much just discuss why I tend to move from one project to the next fairly quickly, and why I like to have some overlap in there rather than just spending a lot of time working on one project. So the reason for that is that I've learned this lesson the hard way a number of times, more times than I care to admit, that if once your MVP is out, it's very tempting to continue putting effort into it because you don't want to lose that effort that you put into it. There's a sunk cost fallacy at work here. But after you launch your MVP and you've put some effort into marketing it and it's been in front of a number of users, if it doesn't become somewhat obvious that you should be spending a lot more time on it, chances are good that you should probably move on to something else. Now, this is a very hard thing to define, and you really have to just feel it out with practice. And that just comes with experience, right? Being able to basically accurately gauge the expected value of any given project. At first, it's very unclear. Before you launch it, you have no idea. After you launch it and people use it, you get some inkling. And some people have been using Burn the Boats, but it's not a huge number. And it remains to be seen if anyone buys their contract back, which is the whole revenue model of the site. So I'm still working on promoting it, marketing it, basically prospecting, which is just the least appealing term to most pure engineers, quote unquote, which I'm not really, but I'm definitely stronger on the engineering side than on the sales side. So that's actually one thing I'm just trying to work on as a person, is being more aggressive in promoting my products, because it's obviously critical as a a solo entrepreneur. So yeah, still working on it, but it's important to throw different things at the wall if what you're working on isn't obviously working, right? So that's the main point I wanted to put out there. It's just easy to get too invested into your products. Just remember that everything you put into it is a sunk cost. So better to stay a little bit, just try to remove yourself from it emotionally a little bit and just look at it more objectively, which is difficult, but can be very valuable. And I'll just say that I've actually made the opposite mistake too. That is not putting enough effort into projects which were a lot more promising than some others, and that I should have definitely gone 100% on, or at least put in a lot more effort into. So it's at first it's difficult to calibrate either way, So it just comes with experience. So yeah, I'm going to be working on basho.me, and another thing I'm working on going forward, just speaking of things that I'm working on as a person, is just as an entrepreneur, you could say, is styling. As you saw in the last 10 or so videos, styling is not really my strong suit, but it is something I'm trying to develop. Some people say it can't be really developed as a skill. I don't really think that's true, and I do know it's extremely important, because whereas good engineering is extremely important, and I wouldn't really say it's not commoditized per se, but it's a lot easier to find, to basically build an app than to actually make it a compelling emotional experience for your user, right? And that's where a lot of the value is in creating that emotional connection with your product and giving them, like, when you look at a website or you use a product and you're just like, wow, I want to share this or whatever. So that's what I'm working on. And again, kind of like sales, that whole visual user experience element is something that's kind of looked down on by, I wouldn't say your average software developer, but by definitely a large subset of them, because for whatever reason. So it's kind of maybe a natural tendency if you are a developer to do that. So it's important to really check yourself. And I did that for a long time, which is why I'm saying this. But it's really something I have to work on. So I look forward to making a cool haiku Twitter finder. That's the next project. So stay tuned for more videos on that. Yeah, that's it for this video. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next time.